progression of education is never-ending. From community classes witnessed by Aristotle to child-involved classroom model that existed for hundreds of years, now, thanks to technological advances, new modes of education are emerging that enable students to develop their knowledge in innovative ways. However, many of these methods remain largely unsystematic, employing teaching approaches that do not pertain to empirically supported learning principles. EduRevo aims to be the first of its kind, integrating technologies with the science of learning, all for the better future of education. We have to ask ourselves, why do we develop EduRevo? And we remind ourselves of that every single day. Simply because we want a better future, a future led and innovated by students in which both educators and students contribute for the sake of the world. Who are we doing this for? Students. We as educators want to transform students into the leaders of the new generations for a better future. We have faith in the potential of students belonging to the current era. And so that faith leads to the development of an educational platform which will serve as an elevation to help students maximize their cognitive abilities and learning skills, making them more knowledgeable and skillful than ever. And yes, with regards to why could EduRevo, I am simply angered by how much students invest in their work and yet how little outcome they have received. The learning practices like lectures have been invalidated by empirical evidence, yet they still remain popular, whereas learning tactics proven to be useful have been largely ignored in the classroom environment. And then my anger turns into sadness when I witness students who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for university education who still end up jobless and hugely in debt. The solution to that employment crisis are 10 easy-to-use learning techniques. Of those, 3 were chosen because they're popular, because they're easy to use, and because they've been incorporated by EduRevo: summarization, elaborative interrogation, and self-explanation, all of which form the backbone of students' interactions with academic environment. EduRevo aims to revolutionize education by harnessing the aforementioned learning techniques with digital technologies. So what's there inside EduRevo? We have the learning content developed by the best educators. We have cutting-edge features with state-of-the-art technologies. We have interactive lesson plan to help students interact in whatever way they want with learning content. And so how EduRevo works, it's very simple. Students, each and every student, how they touch the screen on their mobile phone when they interact with the lesson plan is recorded into a touch density map, which guides other students onto which part are touched the most and therefore which part are the most important, so that they can have applied a top-down attentional bias. From there, they select the most important words and phrases from the resource and they store them. And from the storage, they make notes, summarize, and self-explain, do whatever they need for their sake of knowledge. And so the mechanism here that exists is that by having the ability to focus on the most important pieces of knowledge suggested by our students, not only can students reduce the amount of time they need to study the plan, they can also apply the aforementioned top-down attentional bias so that they are not confounded by noises, by knowledge that are not relevant. And then from that, they apply elaborative integration where they use the principles, where they try to explain the concept, they try to understand the content and discern what are the most important pieces of information from the lesson plan. From those pieces of information, they explain in their own words, self-explain, and summarize so that they can understand the content even better than before. EduRevo is the pioneer of a new generation of e-learning. The first, obviously, is the best. However, after making that claim, I reckon that skepticism might exist among all of you, among all the students, due to the ubiquity of educational platforms. Skepticism is obviously healthy, but wait, we have found that in our pilot program, which is joined by many renowned scholars and top executives, over 70% of the participants improve their memory retention and reduce the amount of time they need to perform performance-related tasks. And a lot of them also improve how they apply knowledge in academic and practical settings. These are the figures, the amazing figures that show that EduRevo is a revolutionary piece of product in the 21st century.